Savannah Chrisley says she's struggled raising her two siblings while fighting for parents' release from prison. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Elena, and I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel USA Dramatic Show and press the bell icon. It's been 2 years since Savannah Chrisley, 27, stepped up to become the legal guardian of her younger siblings, Chloe, 12, and Grayson, 18, following their parents Todd and Julie Chrisley's imprisonment. They were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion charges in 2022, and the shakeup, which also required Savannah to become her family's breadwinner, presented a lot of challenges. "I wasn't expecting to get 2 kids," Savannah tells People exclusively. "So between that, legal expenses to fight for my parents, I am just like anyone else out here. Sure, I put a smile on my face. I look the part, I play the part. But it doesn't mean I actually am the part. You fake it till you make it. That's the world that we live in." The reality star admits, "I've struggled. I've had to work multiple jobs. I sell houses. I do podcasting. I do social media influencing. I do anything that comes my way," she shares in this week's issue of People. "I'm no better than anyone else out here to have to struggle. And I am not lazy. I know that I have 2 kids to provide for, and I know I have 2 parents that I need to get home. So I'll work my ass off till the wee hours of the morning if I have to. It's just who I am." This was all a big change for Savannah, who was like any other teenager who got on TV, had money. She says of her days on reality show hit Chrisley Knows Best, which began in 2014 and ran for 10 seasons. "I spent it like it was never going to end." The reality of Savannah's new norm set in when she learned she could visit her father at federal prison camp Pensacola in Florida for the first time. It led to her having a breakdown, she says. "I just remember Chloe's room was a mess. I didn't know what you had to wear. They're super strict on guidelines for visitation wardrobe," she recalls. "I just remember falling to the floor, and I was like, I can't do this. I am not my mom. I cannot do this. I then just sat there, and I was like, if I don't do it, who else will? And I picked myself up, got their clothes, and we went on our way. You figure it out. I've always said, God meant for me to be a mom. So there's a lot of things that just come naturally for me. But it's a learning process for sure." She adds of caring for her brother Grayson, who is now enrolled at the University of Alabama, and sister Chloe, who is the biological daughter of Savannah's brother Kyle Chrisley, but was legally adopted by Todd, 55, and Julie, 52, in 2016, amid Kyle's struggles with substance abuse. Grayson has been a huge help, but now that he's away at college, caring for Chloe solo is a little bit more challenging, Savannah admits. "My heart breaks for her. She's not had an easy upbringing, and she's had to endure the loss of parents twice. Weekly therapy sessions are helping the preteen, and she's making progress, despite kids being mean to her at school," Savannah says. "Me, Chloe, and Grayson tackle everything together. Grayson had to grow up so fast, and I hate it, but he says, 'You saved me. I don't know what Chloe and I would have done without you.' And I look at him, and I'm like, he saved me more times than I can count." Todd and Julie's combined 19-year sentence has since been reduced, though their initial appeals to their case had been denied. The longtime couple, who wed in 1996, have firmly denied all wrongdoing in the case. In the time since they've been away, Savannah has starred on Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, and The Masked Singer. She also hosts a lucrative podcast called Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley, which she says gives her and her guests a platform to tell the truth. "I have tried to use my podcast as a platform to let people know it's okay to not be okay," she shares. "It takes a lot of strength to actually ask for help. It takes a lot of strength and courage to reach out and say like, 'Hey, I need you. Can you show up for me today?' That will always be my mission. I don't even think it's just being an advocate. I think it's just being a human with a heart and having empathy for others." Savannah has also focused on advocating for prison reform, inspired by her parents' own experience behind bars. "I would say probably a year after my parents left, I just became very outspoken because I knew nothing about our criminal justice system," says Chrisley. who is now a senior fellow for criminal justice reform at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC. My eyes have been opened to what actually happens in our criminal justice system, how broken it is, she continues. When I started realizing these things, I just knew I can't stay silent about it any longer. I have to come out about it. While she has spread awareness of issues occurring in prisons and the legal system, she's used her platform to address alleged corruption in her parents' case. I believe that time for myself will come when I get my parents home, she concludes. I'm only one person, so it's been a little bit of a challenge, but right now I find my strength and my energy in fighting for my parents. Savannah Chrisley reveals Julie sent her a card on Mother's Day as she cares for siblings amid parents' prison sentences. On the latest episode of her Unlocked podcast, on which the reality star visited an Arizona prison to speak to incarcerated women, Savannah, 27, shared that Julie gave her a token of appreciation for her role in raising her siblings, Grayson, 18, and Chloe, 11, as she and her husband, Todd Chrisley, and serve their prison sentences. Mother's Day comes around and she sends me a card for Mother's Day because I'm taking care of the kids, she revealed. And the birthdays come around when she sends little yarn, like the crochet stuff. It's stuff like that, though. The little ones hold on to, she added. Savannah also noted that her mom is there when she has a bad day, despite being behind bars, adding, she calls and it's just like I said, it's the never giving up. That's literally all it is. It's never giving up. She added, she is continuing to call. We talk about just normal stuff, whether I'm in a fight with my boyfriend, and she makes it not about prison. Todd, 55, and Julie, 51, were found guilty of bank fraud and tax evasion in June 2022. That November, Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison and 16 months probation, while Julie was sentenced to 7 years in prison and 16 months probation in November 2022. They began appealing their case a month before reporting to their respective prisons in January 2023. Their sentences were reduced by nearly 2 years in September 2023. In an April 2024 appeal hearing, a judge granted Julie's appeal and vacated her 7-year sentence in June due to insufficient evidence, while Todd's sentence was upheld. However, in September, Julie was resentenced to the same 84 months of prison she previously received. During the hearing at the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Georgia in downtown Atlanta, Julie stood before Judge Eleanor L. Ross and apologized for her actions. Savannah and her brother Chase Chrisley were in attendance. On an episode of her podcast Unlocked, Savannah spoke about her family's Mother's Day festivities, which included a sweet card from Chloe. Mother's Day, I don't know. It just felt weird. I don't even know if yes, it sucked, but it just felt weird, Chrisley said at the time. I mean, Chloe and Grayson are freaking angel children. They are the sweetest kids in the entire world, and they make it so easy. But Chloe wrote a letter to me for Mother's Day, and the letter says, Happy Mother's Day to Savannah. I know that you weren't expecting me and Grayson to come in your hands, but you are doing a great job with me and Grayson. Keep up your work. Love, Chloe. And literally, when I first read it, y'all, I just burst into tears because that is the sweetest. I mean, she's 11 years old, and she was kinda dealt really crappy cards, she added. Noting that Chloe seems to be making the best out of her difficult situation, Chrisley says that the letter made her have an important realization. You're doing a pretty good job when it comes to these kids and making them feel how they need to feel and just showing up, Chrisley told herself. Savannah Chrisley's parents' prison sentences are taking a toll on her entire family, including her sister Chloe and brother Grayson. On a Tuesday October 1 episode of her podcast, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley, the 27-year-old opened up about her mom, Julie Chrisley's recent resentencing, where a judge upheld her original prison sentence of 84 months for tax evasion and fraud. During the episode, Savannah read from a letter she wrote to the judge, emotionally sharing that her younger siblings have been affected by their parents' absence. The past 2 years have been unimaginably difficult. I know that God destined me for motherhood, but never did I expect to be placed in this role under these circumstances, Savannah said in her letter. Although she shared how much she loves her siblings, the podcaster noted that it's been tough to provide for the three of them as a single woman with only one source of income. Chloe, who has already experienced the pain of abandonment by her biological parents, now faces that same heartbreak again with the absence of my parents, her true parents, Savannah continued. She asked me, "Do you think Mom will be home to teach me to drive? Or will Mom be here for my first high school dance?" She went on to say that she's been able to rely on her brother Grayson, but she still feels the weight of juggling parenthood with her own life. My mother has missed so many of the moments that define a family. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Chloe entering middle school and starting cheerleading, Grayson's last baseball season, senior year, prom, and now the college admissions process. All moments when children need their parents most, she said. Chloe is struggling in school, despite the resources I've tried to provide. Both she and Grayson wrestle with anxiety and depression that sometimes leaves them debilitated, Savannah shared. I'm fighting with every ounce of my being to keep them from becoming another statistic.